You throw this amazing place where many children have thrived. You just throw it into the garbage can.
Declining enrollment in Larimer County's Poudre School District is prompting plans to close.
So my understanding is it started as a grassroots organization in the southern states, and the red referred to them being mostly Republican-led. And at that point, I think it was in the mid-2000s, 2012-ish, they were striking for higher pay at that time. And so that's where it started, and then it just kind of spread across a whole bunch of states. Colorado was one of the ones that got involved kind of early on.
We defined a social movement as a structured effort by a group of people that work towards a common goal in an attempt to create change. These groups are comprised of multiple forms of leadership, whether that be figurehead or bridge leaders. Whether the cause is socially right or wrong, they believe it will benefit themselves, the collective group, and/or their community in hopes of people joining their movement and accomplishing their goals. It starts with spreading awareness and gathering people to take action, and then moves to more organized involvement and interaction, and continues over a certain period of time in hopes to create change.
And it really, in our state, became more of a part of our unions. So I'm part of the Poudre Education Association, which is part of the Colorado Education Association, and they kind of took on that Red for Ed piece. So I think it was more of a really recognizable talking point when using social justice to try to improve public school education for our students.
Poudre School District is located in Fort Collins, Colorado. The district hasn't always been smart with their finances. The Red for Ed movement first reached the district when teachers gathered to protest better pay within the district.
We keep being asked to do more with less. We're getting more and more students. We're getting less and less money to teach these students, and we owe them a good education.
As talked about in The African Woman in the Civil Rights Movement by RepNet, bridge leaders are the link between the community that the movement is trying to reach and the face leaders of the movement.
I've been teaching for 32 years. I still love the kids, and I still want to make it great. So Colorado, make it great!
In this case, the bridge leaders are the students, because the students are not the primary benefactors of the cause, but they are indirectly impacted by the movement because the success means that they will have a higher quality education.
My name is Lillian Moore, and I stand before you today as a proud student of Lopez Elementary, a leader in Mies School. When my family first chose to attend Lopez...
In March of this year, Poudre School District created draft proposals to close schools across the district in order to combat the budget crisis the district is facing due to declines in student enrollment. One of the schools was Lopez Elementary School. Hundreds of upset parents and students shared their perspectives at a district hearing in April.
At Lopez, I see families that look like mine and friends that look like me. While many of you have the privilege to overlook the significance of diversity, for students like me, it's crucial.
The very first listening session after they made an announcement that they were going to combine and close some schools, they had some listening sessions. And at the very first one I attended, it was every school at a table, about 350 people in a building, at a high school building. They had board members at each table, and it was every school for themselves. And it really just felt like this pitting against each other and everyone trying to, wait, let me tell you about my program, and it just felt awful.
Red for Ed follows a cycle of grassroots leadership and momentum building, as we read in the Chicana oral histories in the 1968 East LA school blowouts by Delgado and Bernal.
And so I had requested, I'm in a consolidation chat on Facebook, and there's a lot of families in there, a lot of educators in there who are around the school closures. And I had suggested at the next one we unify, and we were using the Red for Ed to do that. And so rather than coming in your school colors and trying to advocate for your schools, I had suggested we all show up in red, if possible, and come as a unifying group.
It began with developing consciousness by raising awareness of school and social inequities through discussions and media. Organizing and planning followed through events and activities related to their goals. Networking, such as speaking with parents, created a base of support. Acting as spokespersons, students and teachers advocated through media and public speaking. Building momentum involved connecting people to the movement and ensuring members are connected to each other, fostering solidarity and a shared purpose. This interconnected cycle sustained and drove the movement forward.
it slowly has been growing in mass as far as people getting involved. We were encouraging schools not involved to show up at meetings and listening sessions from the beginning, and we were seeing a little bit of it. But it's hard to feel super involved when it's not your school being impacted.
Following the first hearing, the district decided to change the first draft of proposals. Lopez was now safe, but a nearby elementary school, Johnson Elementary School, found its name in every possible draft of schools to be closed, among other Fort Collins schools. The teachers and families of the district rallied together again.
Now that we've had a second round of schools, different schools announced, I think people are really seeing it could be any school in the next scenarios, right? And so we had a much bigger showing at the Board of Education meeting this week. It was, I think the news said about 450 people outside of the meeting protesting at that one. Most of them were wearing school colors, but I think that's what we all started when our schools were first announced. And so we're really encouraging people to start to come together against the consolidations and closures as a whole group entirely.
Red for Ed is classified as a social movement as students and teachers come together to work towards the common goal of pay raises for teachers and then move to working together to stop the consolidation of schools. Students, teachers, and the surrounding community have come together to raise awareness and try and achieve their goals through different forms of leadership.
There was a school board session this week, and one of the school board members literally said to the public, we are going to have the vote whether we have all the information we need or not. And that, to me, just encompasses this entire thing. They charged the steering committee with looking at all the data that they were provided, but they were told they had to include school consolidations and school closings in their final report. And so that's what they did, because that's what they were charged with. What they should have been charged with is looking at the entire district as a whole, all of the expenditures from the district, and making decisions that might include school consolidation and school closures, but could probably include a lot of cuts elsewhere. And that's our hope going forward, is that I don't know if people are going to want to volunteer for the steering committee again, because I understand they put in about 2,000 hours of work into this, and now what we're basically asking for is for that to be completely scrapped and start over. But it's because we feel like they were not given the parameters they should have been given, which is to look at the entire district as a whole and make recommendations of where we could cut, where spending is already happening, where we could look at other ways to cut spending, and then, if needed, also add in consolidations and school closings. But that should not be the first step. That's not what's best for our students and our community.
I agree.